Good morning, America. Fire danger. Evacuations growing in California's wine country. A large wildfire growing overnight. The challenges as firefighters work to contain the flames. More than 30 million Americans on alert for scorching heat. Triple-digit temperatures breaking new records. Our weather team tracking it all.
Air quality concerns following that massive explosion at a Louisiana factory. Black soot raining down in the area. The warnings about coming in contact with it. Residents urged to stay indoors, while others are forced from their homes.
Pentagon pink slip. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth fires the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency. 2 top admirals also shown the door. What to know about the latest shakeups.
GMA Health Alert, a new study showing a possible link between some popular weight loss drugs and a lower risk of some cancers. We break down the findings.
Caught on camera, the video showing an Uber driver knocking a passenger holding his service animal to the ground. What allegedly sparked the confrontation? The lawsuit raising questions about rideshare safety.
Grammy good riddance? Morgan Wallen, the latest superstar to turn his back on music's biggest competition, following others who have taken aim at the Recording Academy. What's behind the Grammy backlash?
You'll never stop this, baby.
The Grand Slam moments. The world's top tennis stars ready to serve up aces and upsets as the U.S. Open gets underway today.
Live from ABC News headquarters in New York City, it's Sunday. Good morning, America.
Oh, that music is a way to wake up on this Sunday. Good morning, America. And it's good to have 2 people who I think could be tennis pros. Mary Bruce,
we can try.
I
played in high school. Me too.
And we are so excited for all the fun at the U.S. Open. It gets underway here in New York. We're going to head there live in just a bit.
My favorite 2 weeks of the year, for sure. Also this morning, that enormous lottery drawing overnight, a $700 million Powerball prize at stake. So was there a lucky winner?
And vacation mode, which you could be in if you won that Powerball for the rest of your life. Millions of Americans gearing up for Labor Day weekend. And by all accounts, it's going to be a record breaker. What to know if you are flying or driving anywhere.
Yeah, one of the last weeks of the summer. But we do begin here with the battle going on right now in California's wine country. A large wildfire burning through more acres overnight as firefighters struggle to get it under control. Tough conditions made worse by all that brutal heat for 30 million Americans in the West. Let's get right to ABC's Jacqueline Lee with the latest on that. Jacqueline, good morning.
Gio, good morning. Fire officials here in California telling me the lack of rain from the winter has created these dry conditions that we're seeing, making it much easier for a wildfire to start.
This morning, new evacuation orders as California's picket fire grows. The fire in Napa County, north of San Francisco, burning more than 6,500 acres so far. The fire, only 11% contained. You can see helicopters dropping water and fire retardant amidst a wall of black smoke.
Got food, got groceries, and got gas, and made sure that my car was filled up in case I do have to evacuate.
And in Southern California, Orange County firefighters battling the club fire caused by lightning, attacking it from the air and the ground. Meanwhile, more than 30 million Americans remain on alert for blistering heat and dry conditions. Extreme heat warnings in effect for parts of California, Oregon, Washington, and western Idaho, with highs breaking triple digits.
I'm dying. It's hot.
High school football teams in Sacramento forced to delay the start of their games. And in Los Angeles, high temperatures combined with low humidity and breezy conditions driving fire crews to gear up.
What challenges does this extreme heat pose on your firefighters?
They're hiking steep terrain. They're fighting fire, and so that heat is definitely going to wear them down.
We got a tour of the headquarters for the Los Angeles County Fire Hand Crews, ready to respond in an instant.
Ooh, look, hey!
And on the East Coast, lingering effects from Hurricane Erin causing rough surf and flooding. Most beaches under a high risk of rip currents through the end of the weekend.
Scattered thunderstorms and lightning strikes have sparked several small fires here in the Los Angeles area this weekend. Crews getting them quickly under control. Mary.
And we are thankful for that, Jacqueline. Thank you. So let's get the forecast now from meteorologist Danny Beckstrom from our New York station WABC. Hey, Danny, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Mary. We want to start with the heat. It's the most widespread and most significant weather threat right now. Again, 30 million Americans under some sort of heat-related alert. That's from Arizona down through, or up through Washington, I should say. Extreme heat warnings for highs up to 118 in parts of Southern California and Southern Arizona, including Yuma, Phoenix, and Tucson. But let's talk about the extreme heat warning in the Pacific Northwest. These are areas that don't typically see temperatures this hot. And once again, we're looking at record highs possible in places like Seattle, Portland, Medford. Medford hit a record yesterday. Today, they're looking at a forecast high of 105. And look at Seattle, near 90 today, Portland near 98. The hot, dry conditions helping to fuel the fire danger as well. Will?
All right, and stay warm and safe at the U.S. Open there. They got a retractable roof, so that's good there. Now, thank you, Danny. We're going to move to that massive fire in Louisiana. The air quality concerns from falling black soot. The area around a lubricant plant under evacuation orders after Friday's explosion. ABC's Olivia Rubin is here with the latest. Good morning, Olivia.
Yeah, good morning, Will. Firefighters overnight finally able to get a handle on this blaze, saying it's now 90% contained after a fiery explosion rocked that factory in Louisiana. But it's the environmental concerns that are now only growing. Officials say a series of explosions first occurred Friday at Smitty Supply. That's a petroleum manufacturing plant, sending plumes of smoke billowing into the sky. And it's that black soot that now has officials so worried. They're urging people to stay indoors, saying to wash your hands and faces if you touch it. Officials say they're still testing exactly what is in that soot, but saying that it's associated with, get this, hydrocarbon chemicals. Even the EPA has now launched a special aircraft to test what exactly is in that air. In the meantime, everyone within a 1-mile radius has been ordered to evacuate, even an elementary school. Officials there warning of falling debris. And guys, investigators are now on the scene trying to figure out exactly what caused this, but still no word.
Very concerning, Olivia. Thank you so much for your reporting there. And to Washington now, in reaction to the latest round of firings by the Trump administration, the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency is out, as well as 2 admirals at the Navy, on the heels of several Air Force generals also shown the door. And ABC's Jay O'Brien is in Washington following this. Good morning, Jay.
Yeah, Gio, my friend, good morning. The ripple effects still being felt from these decisions, and the Pentagon not explaining why yet, just the latest in a string of senior military officials ousted in the last few months. Air Force Lieutenant General Jeffrey Cruz now out as the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency, the same agency that weeks ago drew the ire of President Trump after an early intelligence assessment contradicted claims from the White House and other top administration officials that the U.S. had, quote-unquote, obliterated Iran's nuclear facilities in those 3 bombings ordered by the president. Now, at the time, administration officials said that DIA assessment was too preliminary. The Pentagon is now declining to say whether Cruz was forced out, and if so, why. Reacting to this, the top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee accusing the administration of treating critical national security roles as a, quote, loyalty test. A series of top Pentagon and intelligence brass have been fired since the president took office, including the former head of the National Security Agency, the former vice chief of staff of the Air Force, and former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General C.Q. Brown. Mary.
Okay, Jay, thank you. So let's bring in ABC News Chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl, who's hosting This Week later this morning. John, good morning. Let's start with Ukraine and Russia. President Trump says he will know if a deal is possible in the next 2 weeks, but Russia is slow-walking these talks. So realistically, what options are on the table?
2 weeks. 2 weeks is a familiar time frame for President Trump. I'm not sure what changes in 2 weeks. The bottom line here, Mary, is that President Trump came out of that summit in Russia believing that Putin had agreed that he would meet one-on-one with Zelensky, believing that there was an agreement on security guarantees. And it seems that none of that is the case right now. The question now is, what will Trump do about it? He had threatened severe consequences if he couldn't get a ceasefire. Now, not only is he not getting a ceasefire, he's not even getting, at least it seems, anytime soon, a meeting, but entirely unclear whether he is ready to pull the trigger on more severe sanctions.
And of course, Russia continues to attack Ukraine as these talks continue. And another big story this week, of course, the FBI search on the home and office of former National Security Advisor John Bolton. It's part of an investigation into whether he collected or leaked sensitive national security information. But of course, there are those lingering questions about political retribution.
I mean, it is hard not to look at the context here. We don't know the underlying evidence, and it's important to point out, Mary, that they had to go not to one, but to two different federal judges to get the search warrant. One for the search of his Maryland home, another for the search of his Washington, D.C. office. So they had something to say probable cause. But the context here is that Bolton is right near the top of Donald Trump's enemies list. He has vowed retribution on those enemies. And here you have, a major FBI action targeting John Bolton. And of course, it is not the only one. There is a long list of Trump's real or perceived enemies that are facing either investigation or prosecution under this administration.
Lots to discuss coming up on This Week, John. Thanks. Sure. You'll be talking with former CIA Director General David Petraeus about the next steps in the Ukraine-Russia peace talks. Plus, Chris Christie and Sarah Isgur break down the FBI's searches of Bolton's home and office and the transcripts and audio from Ghislaine Maxwell's interview with the Justice Department.
Now to the ongoing battle between the Trump administration and Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the man who was wrongly deported back in March. Now he's back in the U.S. to face smuggling charges, and his lawyer says the government is trying to force Abrego Garcia to plead guilty or face deportation to Uganda. In a statement, the Department of Justice says he is a clear danger to the community and can plead guilty or face a jury trial. Gio?
Okay, Will, now to a GMA Health Alert. A new study suggests a link between some popular weight loss drugs and an overall lower risk of cancer. And joining us now to talk about this is board-certified neurologist Dr. Leah Kroll. Dr. Leah, good to see you.
Good to see you.
So we're talking about some forms of cancer here, but this really could be a breakthrough, right?
Absolutely. It's just endlessly fascinating, all the new information coming out about these GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic. So this study looked at 86,000 people with the conditions of overweight or obesity and found that GLP-1s were linked to a 17% reduction in the risk for certain obesity-related cancers. A couple of specific numbers I want to throw at you here. The risk for endometrial cancer went down by 25%. The risk for ovarian cancer went down by 47%. And the risk for meningioma, which is a benign brain tumor, went down by 31%. So some very impressive numbers here, very exciting. We should keep in mind, though, this is an observational study. It does not prove cause and effect. It doesn't give us the how, but it certainly gives us good reason to be excited about the potential here.
Yeah, it's very, very encouraging. But there's also a little bit of a warning, right, when we're talking about the GLP-1s and kidney cancer.
Absolutely. So the data from this study suggests that these GLP-1s may be linked to an increased risk for kidney cancer. Now, that's not a statistically significant finding in this study, but it's emblematic of something we talk about a lot when we talk about with GLP-1s. Which is that, yes, this is a medical revolution. Yes, this is exciting and encouraging, but that doesn't mean these drugs are without serious side effects and risks that have to be taken into consideration. And we also have to keep in mind that there's so much we don't know about these drugs still, particularly when it comes to the long-term effects.
And very quickly here, but it's important to note, even though this is very early, do we think that doctors may start recommending this?
Probably not soon, but eventually. This is going to give us the grounds to really go for those large-scale, rigorous clinical trials that can better investigate the relationship between cancer prevention and GLP-1s and give us that gold standard medical evidence that we need to make changes.
All right, Dr. Leah Kroll, thank you so much as always.
Thank you.
Will?
All right, Gio and Dr. Kroll, valuable info there. Thank you. And we turn now to the Labor Day weekend travel crush. It's just days away, with airlines once again expecting to break records. And ABC's Faith Abube joins us with what you need to know as you begin your travels. Good morning, Faith.
Yeah, good morning to you, Will. Nothing says the end of summer quite like a crush of people trying to get in that one final vacation before the fall weather sets in. And this year, travelers will have plenty of company at the airports. It's expected to be a record-breaking Labor Day in the skies. Take, for example, United Airlines. They're expecting to fly more passengers this year than they have ever flown for the Labor Day period. 3.1 million passengers will board their planes. American Airlines expecting 3.9 million passengers passengers, also up from last year. Now, if you're jet setting to Europe, according to Hopper, you are seeing some of the best deals right now. Ticket prices are cheaper, 18% cheaper compared to the same time period last year. But if you're flying domestic, you're paying more money, about 10% more compared to this time in 2024. Either way, though, expect the airports to be packed. It'll likely be the most crowded coming up this Friday. But if you're in airports in cities like Orlando or Charlotte, remember, there are new TSA family lanes to speed up the screening process. And then all across the country, remember, you no longer have to take off your shoes when you go through the TSA security lines, even if you're in the general security lanes.
All right, and for those people who might be driving, how are gas prices looking?
It's actually a good move. If you don't like to fly, hit the road. That is because gas prices are about 20 cents or so cheaper than they were this time last year, which is great news. Just remember that the experts say that it's best for you to leave early in the morning to avoid the traffic or wait until after dinner time to hit the road. Gio.
All right, absolutely good advice there, Faith. Thank you so much. And one way to pay for an epic vacation is, of course, an epic Powerball jackpot. The $700 million prize drawing overnight. But the big question right now, was there a winner? And ABC's Rena Roy joins us with the latest on that. Good morning, Rena.
Hey, Gio, good morning. Yeah, that is the big question, and I have the answer for you. It is official. No player matched all 6 numbers drawn last night, which means the Powerball jackpot just keeps growing. The jackpot now stands at a whopping $750 million. Monday's Powerball draw will be the 10th largest in the game's history. If someone wins on Monday, they can choose between 2 options, the annual payments or the one-time lump sum, which would be about $338.6 million. Now, keep in mind, that's before taxes, but hey, still not too bad, right? But before we get our hopes up about tomorrow's drawing, just a friendly reminder here that the odds of winning a grand prize are 1 in 292.2 million. Sorry to burst anyone's bubble out there.
I don't know. You're saying there's still a chance. I'll take it. I'll take it. Rena, thank you. Now to the U.S. Open and the best 2 weeks of the year for tennis fans. The final Grand Slam tennis tournament of the season getting underway right here in New York City. ABC's Morgan Norwood joins us from the Billie Jean King National Tennis Center, where play is starting this morning. Good morning, Morgan.
And the excitement is certainly building here, Mary. Look, you've got the legends looking to, add some more titles to their belt. You've got the young stars looking to steal the spotlight with the big question, who's going to dominate the U.S. Open right here in New York for the next couple of weeks?
It's the 2025 U.S. Open, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Defending champs Aryna Sabalenka and Jannik Sinner hoping to hold on to their titles, but the Grand Slam, notorious for its tennis upsets, hosting fan favorites like Coco Gauff, Taylor Fritz, and Carlos Alcaraz, all gunning for that silver cup. Novak Djokovic also back on the courts, chasing a record-breaking 25th Grand Slam title. He hasn't played since that Wimbledon loss to current world #1 Sinner, and tennis fans are already wondering, did we see another showdown between Sinner and Djokovic? And can an American man finally break the slump? It's been 22 years since the last Grand Slam title, but players like Frances Tiafoe, Taylor Fritz, Ben Shelton, and Tommy Paul say this could be the year.
How I feel out here competing, I'm going to be straight, I'm going to be good. Exactly where I want to be.
On the women's side, all eyes on defending champ Sabalenka, taking the court today against Rebecca Masarova. Sabalenka has yet to win a Grand Slam this year, but calls this tournament her most important. Gauff coming in with new coaching changes and a French Open win under her belt.
Coco has conquered the clay!
And looking to capture New York energy.
I hope I can get it all together by, I think I'll either play Monday or Tuesday by then. And if not, I have a rest of this year to work on it.
And yes, the Venus Williams, a wild card entry at 45, still a fan favorite and set to play Monday. But look, it's not just what happens on center court that's capturing fans' attention. 9-year-old Emery Mahays, the U.S. Open's kidcaster, winning the internet this week after selling lemonade to Novak Djokovic himself.
Got your lemonade!
Wow. This is exciting.
I'm a big fan.
Who are you excited to see?
You.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We caught up with the internet sensation Saturday.
So do you see yourself playing in the U.S. Open one day?
Obviously.
Obviously. Oh, we love a queen with confidence.
And I have a feeling that we have a new little star in Emery. I'm so jealous that she got to meet all of the stars. And speaking of stars, the Bryan brothers, Maria Sharapova, both inducted into the International Tennis Hall of Fame yesterday. And get this, guys, the Serena Williams was on deck. The crowd went wild to see her. She made an early appearance, Gio.
That is so much fun. And little Emery, how cute is she? Oh, obviously, right? Thank you, Morgan. Coming up here on GMA, a man who's suing a rideshare company after he says a driver knocked him and his service dog to the ground.
Plus, why some big stars in music, including Morgan Wallen, aren't even entering the annual Grammy competition.
And our coverage of the U.S. Open continues as we preview the competition with ESPN's Renee Stubbs. We'll be right back.
Now ready. Called strike three, and that's it. The Summerlin South Little Leaguers find the summit. They are United States Little League World Series champions.
Welcome back to GMA. That is Nevada, the new U.S. champion of the 2025 Little League World Series. Summerlin South toppling my home state of Connecticut. In a hard-fought face-off in Williamsport. Now Nevada advances to the World Series championship game. They will face Chinese Taipei this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern on ABC. One of the highlights of the summer, the Little League World Series.
I love it. Those guys are so good. They work
really
so
are.
hard.
Are you a Little Leaguer?
Yeah, but not at that level. These guys go to the major leagues.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's take a look at some of the other stories we're following here on this Sunday morning. Hospitals across Gaza, they are reporting that Israeli strikes killed at least 64 Palestinians. That's according to the Hamas-run health ministry, saying at least 19 victims were people seeking aid. The deaths happening days after a UN-backed group declared a famine in Gaza. Israel denounced the declaration, calling it an outright lie.
And 21 people, including members of a junior high school football team, were injured in a bus crash near Pittsburgh. The bus was carrying the team, parents, and coaches to a game when it crashed and turned on its side. Police say the crash happened in what they describe as a tough spot in the road.
And a blockbuster sports auction clinches a world record. $12.9 million is the winning bid for this basketball card, which is signed by both Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. That amount eclipses the previous record, which belonged to a Mickey Mantle card. That was $12.6 million a few years ago. What a piece of history right there.
That really is a special piece. And the coffee countdown is on for a fall favorite. It is still August, but Starbucks is already rolling out its pumpkin spice line this week. Get ready, folks. Tuesday, coffee lovers can get their pumpkin spice latte fix once again. They also have the pumpkin cream cold brew. I like that. And the iced pumpkin chai. Those are also making a comeback.
I'm just trying to cling to summer. Can we just hold on to that a little bit longer? We do, though, start this half hour with the shocking moment caught on camera. An Uber driver seen headbutting and punching a passenger. That man who was hit now taking legal action against the rideshare company. And ABC's Ike Ajachi has more. Ike, good morning. This is really disturbing.
It really is. Good morning, Mary. A biotech CEO from Charleston, South Carolina is speaking out after he says he was assaulted by an Uber driver earlier this year that left him hospitalized and facing months of recovery. This morning, the rideshare rumble sparking urgent questions about safety. Watch as this Uber driver gets out of his car and knocks a passenger to the ground while holding his service animal.
It happened so suddenly, but the attack is so vicious, so inhumane.
It was supposed to be a routine night for Brian Cobell, a biotech CEO from South Carolina. He and a friend and his licensed service dog, Piper, ordered an Uber just after dinner in downtown Charleston.
The gentleman said, no pets. I said, she's not a pet, she's a service animal, just to clarify. He said, no pets. I said, look, she's a service animal, so it doesn't really fall under that again.
According to his complaint, Cobell says the driver, 42-year-old Vadim Ulumdashiev, a Russian national authorities say is living in the U.S. illegally, refused to allow a service animal in his car. Surveillance video capturing Ulumdashiev storming out of his Audi and headbutting and punching Cobell as bystanders watched in horror. The Uber driver fled.
Someone just punched someone and fell on the ground, and his head is bleeding from the back. We need someone immediately.
Cobell rushed to the hospital.
I had a split upper lip, and then I had 7 staples across the top of my head, as well as 4 stitches in there. And then internally, I had a severe concussion, which took quite some time to recover from.
Alum Dashiev eventually arrested and charged with second-degree assault and battery, and is now in federal custody at an ICE detention facility as immigration authorities begin deportation proceedings. Cobell is now suing Uber for negligence, claiming the company put profits ahead of passenger safety by hiring Alum Dashiev with an alleged fake driver's license, questioning the rideshare giant's vetting system. Alum Dashiev's attorney telling ABC News that the driver's license is legit and the video doesn't tell the full story, and she intends to defend her client vigorously.
The reality is Uber is failing miserably to protect its riders. Despite saying that safety is its number one priority, they need to be more stringent with who they choose as drivers, and frankly, they've brought these wolves into the henhouse.
Now, Uber has since responded, saying it's committed to safety and complies with all regulations around worker eligibility, and that there's no place for violence. As for Cobell's service dog, well, the dog is okay, guys.
Oh, what a story.
Yeah, just so shocking to see that reaction.
It really is. Yeah. It really is. All right. Thank you so much, Ike.
Guys, gorgeous day out here in Queens. And Mary, you mentioned it. This is the best 2 weeks in New York City. And you can really feel the energy and the atmosphere here from the U.S. Open. And we're looking forward to day one of the official tournament starting today.
We are looking forward to it, too. But, Danny, while we have you, I understand you tried out for a little moonlighting job at the Open this year.
I did, not just this year, Mary, but for the second year in a row, I tried to make the U.S. Open ball crew. Last year, got cut. This year, I got a pity invite, but at least I got the polo, so that was something. But this is serious stuff. Neil Kitson, the ball crew lead, told me that 1,600 people applied. About 500 people were invited to officially try out. Only 80 make it. So what does it take to be on the U.S. Open ball crew? Speed, agility, hand-eye coordination, and being over 14 years old. And Neil told me, you solidly have one of those things. And I'm like, that's right. That's right. So I think I'll make it attempt number 3, but I'm going to wear this around the U.S. Open today just so people think that I'm coordinated and agile and athletic.
Well, maybe the third year will be the charm.
If anyone's out at the Open, look for Danny Beckstrom in all her gear. Danny, thank you for that. She also has a job, right? That'll get in the way of being there for 2 weeks. We appreciate you, Danny.
Look at how the Grammy Awards have fallen out of favor with a number of artists who just aren't interested in the recognition, and they're not even putting their names in for recognition here. Will Gans has been looking into this. What's behind it, Will?
I'll let you know, Gio. The deadline for Grammy submissions is this week. Kendrick's last album looms large. Sabrina Carpenter's new album drops just in the nick of time on Friday. But one of the most successful artists of the year won't be nominated. Why? He just doesn't want to be. And he's not the first one. Whether in her music or in her interviews, Mariah Carey isn't one to pull any punches.
I think the Grammys are overrated.
Mimi taking aim at the Recording Academy the same week that Morgan Wallen's team confirmed he wouldn't be submitting any work for this year's Grammy consideration.
It got me thinking, if I'm the problem, you might be the reason.
As his album, I'm the Problem, sits at #1 on the Billboard 200 for a remarkable 11th week, the country star has revealed he will boycott the Recording Academy, which has never nominated any of his solo work.
He is the biggest star in country music right now, and yet he has been consistently left out of the Grammys conversation.
To be considered for a Grammy, artists need to submit their work.
I think that the Recording Academy needs to figure this out.
After all, Wallen isn't the first artist to beef with the Grammys. The Weeknd only mending fences with the Recording Academy this year after a boycott of his own when Blinding Lights failed to get any nominations back in 2021.
I know when that hotline bling.
And Drake, who's won Grammys before for songs like Hotline Bling, has not submitted his work in the past after feeling snubbed as well. Jay-Z, meanwhile, speaking out at the Grammys against the Grammys.
We love y'all. We love y'all. We love y'all. We want y'all to get it right, at least get it close to right.
When Beyoncé, the most awarded solo performer in Grammy's history, had yet to win Album of the Year. But all of that changed this year.
I just feel very full and very honored. It's been many, many years.
But even Queen Bee had to be in it to win it, which Morgan Wallen won't be as the Grammy submission deadline looms large following his massive year.
Part of the way you look back on a year in music is through who won the Grammys, who won the major awards that year. And if artists are willingly saying, no, we don't want to submit, that's just an issue, right?
We reached out to the Recording Academy for comment and haven't heard back. But all of this begs the question, should there be a system that doesn't require artists to submit their work so that way the biggest albums of the year are recognized at the biggest award show of the year?
That's called streams and purchases and things.
Yeah.
The market speaks for who is...
Exactly.
Other ways of
Which
winning.
is probably why it's a little easier to be like, I don't need a Grammy.
Right, when you're Morgan Wallen and you're number one.
For the record, I do need a Grammy though, so
Get him a Grammy.
just saying, just for me.
We will make sure to submit you. Well, thank you. And coming up here on Good Morning America, a grand slam of excitement as the U.S. Open singles action gets underway right here in New York. ESPN's Renee Stubbs joins us with the names you have to watch this year.
Back now on GMA, and from rising stars to players chasing history, the U.S. Open serves up 2 weeks of high drama. We agree it's the best 2 weeks in sports around here. Singles play begins this morning, and joining us here in our studio is Renee Stubbs, winner of 6 Grand Slam titles in doubles and mixed doubles. She's an analyst for ESPN. Renee, welcome. Let's give a round of applause here.
We don't normally get this early.
Well, we appreciate you being here, and let's dive right into it. There's a lot of people to root for here, especially Americans. Let's start with the top-seeded American woman, Coco Gauff. She's won the U.S. Open before. She won the French Open this year, but she lost at Wimbledon in the first round. How do you like her chances to win again here this week?
Look, great. She's one of the greatest competitors we've seen in a long time. She has a new serving guru coach, Gavin McMillan. He used to actually work with Sabalenka, if you can believe it, who was her biggest rival pretty much through the years. And so she's working on the serve, trying to get that in, because that's really been her biggest issue, is the double faults. That has cost her so many matches over the last 12 months, particularly leading to this U.S. Open. Can she change it in 5 days? We will see, because there's a lot of pressure on her here. She has an incredibly tough draw. She may have to play Naomi Osaka through to get even through to the semi-final. So it's Naomi, and then there's Madison Keys, another American who won the Australian Open at the start of the year. So her draw is super stacked to get through to the final.
So let's talk about some of the other Americans. Who else do you think stands a good chance this year?
Well, someone I just mentioned, Madison Keys, who won the Australian Open to start the year, of course. An American woman has been in the finals of a Grand Slam all of this year. So you've got Amanda Anisimova made the finals of Wimbledon, so we expect her to possibly do really well again here as well. And her draw is pretty good. But Maddie Keys, Coco, Jessica Pegula, who made the finals last year, has a pretty good draw as well. So we'll see. Certainly there's a lot to still be answered.
Venus Williams making her return. What's she saying?
She is so happy. You know, I read through her transcript of her press conferences, and we, of course, got her at ESPN, but she's just so happy. She's so relaxed. She's just a joy to be around right now. She's happy to be on the court. She, of course, has this amazing opportunity to play on Arthur Ashe Stadium again, which she said is, you know, for her is like her mecca to be out there. Of course, Arthur Ashe symbolizes so much. And, of course, the 75th celebration of Althea Gibson, her first time she played at the U.S. Open. So the U.S. Open is really promoting that as well. So it's kind of a full circle moment.
Yeah, they do such a great job of honoring their past while bringing the game forward. Speaking of bringing the game forward, on the men's side, Yannick Sinner, world #1, reigning champion. He's playing as well as anyone, but he always seems to run into Carlos Alcaraz in the final. What are the odds we get another rematch in this rivalry for the third major in a row?
Very high. Obviously, he pulled out in the finals of Cincinnati with a virus. He wasn't feeling well, so hopefully that's past him now, literally. And I think he's definitely the player to get through in his section of the draw. Yannick, he's the best player on hard court. He's arguably been the best player. He has every Grand Slam pretty much there is to get, winning Wimbledon. Listen, Alcaraz and Sinner have been in the final and have won the last 7 major titles on the men's side. So the fact that they're going to be in the final is a pretty good. We're going to have that again, I think.
Oh, well, Renee Stubbs, it is always such a pleasure to
guys.
have you here.
Thank you. You got to get out there this year.
I know, it's on my bucket list.
Get married at Tennis Center.
This is the year.
And every match is direct to consumer on ESPN. So.
Oh, that's right. All in one in the new app. Thank you so much. And thank you for starting your day with us. And before we go here, we want to congratulate the team over at the Hulu original series Paradise, getting the trophy for Best Drama at the African American Film Critics Association. Io Davis, president of Disney Branded TV, accepted the Salute to Excellence Award.
Some exciting news there. Of course, you can catch more weekend coverage over on ABC News Live.
With Will.
See ya.